So we are under the sink. These are the two through hulls that I'm going to be replacing at least the valves, but depends if I can get the valve off of the through hull, and if that's the case, maybe I'll just leave the through hull and replace the valve. Step one, grind that off. Now I gotta get that bottom nut off. Wish me luck on that. I may have to cut it all out completely. Alright, I had to cut a couple, broke it free that way. Tough to do with one hand at this angle. So, she's broken free. I went down, pried her out. Now I have to I don't like the look of, well, I cut into the wooden backing plate there to get this off, but even that one, and then my main drains for the cockpit, I think I'm gonna cut all that wood out, right, open it up down to fiberglass, and fashion a new backing plate for all this stuff. It's 46-year-old plywood. It's paid its dues. As expected, it's coming off bit by bit. So I think I'm gonna be able to chew off as much of this as I can, and then I might cut the liner out around the entire thing, both pieces, and I'm probably gonna have to use a sander or grinder to get the rest of that off. I'll beef up the fiberglass before I lay new. I think I'll use G10. Alright, more work. I tried getting at this section here with a Dremel, but it didn't do a very good job. So I took my trusty oscillating tool and cut away the liner. No. Save that. Now I can access this much better. I'll be able to sand it nice and clean, get the new piece on, and I should be able to tie that right back in again. So I think that's gonna work out. Let me back up here and see what I'm working with. I'm accessing it through this hole here and another hole over there. So this is really a bit of a pain. So this was going to be the most difficult through hulls to get at and clean up, so I thought I wanted to take care of this first. And here we are after cutting that out, prying up that other piece, sanding everything down and wiping with acetone. There's still the adhesive kind of in the nooks and crannies of the fiberglass that I can't quite get out. I'm not sure how much I got to worry about that. I'm not going to kill myself right now. If it's something that needs to come out before I put in the new blocks, I'll deal with it then. But I wanted to get the bulk of the hard work done, and I think probably I can find a solvent that'll get that up and not harm the fiberglass, but I got to research that a little bit. Okay, so I decided to move on from this to the through hulls I'm keeping up here, and got a screwdriver under this, and it just popped right off. So I don't think, I mean, clearly I already said I'm going to be replacing all these, but it's a good idea. This guy is kind of, it's damp, and it wasn't adhered very well. So there you go. And that's that off, and this guy, same deal, popped right off. Don't think it was a very good seal either, and it's all damp, so good thing to be replacing these as well. Alright, so similar to under the sink, got these cleaned up as best I can other than the caulk, and that's the same, I think it's the same stuff that was used down here, the packing. So I have the through hulls, 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the through hulls that are going to stay. Clean those up, get a backing plate on, got to buy the through hulls. Those will be ready to go in the spring, or they'll be able to work on in the spring. Got to get the back sides of all this plywood, epoxy and fiberglass down, but I'm running out of epoxy and I'm running out of warm enough temperature. And then the paint I'm going to use for this whole area, it has to be 50 degrees or warmer. And I think those days are gone for a while. Okay, taking care of the through hulls there and under there. Came up here, pulled out the sensor there, popped that through. So that one's open and ready to be closed up. Over here, this was the raw water intake for the head. So that one's all cleared out. This was a didn't go through the hull, but it was a depth sounder of some sort. It was shot, it was leaking oil. This all had filled up with oil. So I pulled that. I have to replace it with something else. I don't know what yet. And now, I pulled the head. That's out on the back, out in the cockpit. And I gotta pull all the plumbing. And then one last through hull. Right there. Got got all the piping, the tubing and plumbing out, with no major surprises as far as an elbow full of former toilet contents, so it did good there. And this is the first, this is my last through hull I'm dealing with, and it's the first one that's actually, I was able to unscrew the valve from the through hull. Now, unfortunately, I'm not keeping this through hull, so that's all still got to come out, but that was a nice surprise. Well, I tell you, anybody wants to do this with an old boat, you need to get an oscillating tool. This thing is just, I wish they had these things 30 years ago, but couldn't get this guy moving, so I just cut him in half. Getting a grinder down in here would have been a pain, but this just zipped right down and cut it off. So I can work on getting the other side off. Popped it through after cutting the nut in half, so that's out. Now this is a different situation than under the sink, because I'm going to be putting a composting head in here. I mean, I guess I could put it right here, but there's a lot of room underneath here. So I could possibly cut this whole section of the liner out and might be able to lower the flat part back a little bit. Yeah, get a little more room in here. So I'm not sure, but regardless, I got to do something to get that. So I got some thinking to do. So I decided to do it this way. Just pull off enough. So hopefully I can get that all cleaned up. And then regardless, I would have had to, this is not going back, so I don't need this circle, so I'd have to close that up anyway. So I can leave this for now and see if there's a composting head that fits in this area. If not, then I can pull it apart. So I'm gonna end this video here. I'm gonna look at the top of the water tank, because I read in the Alberg 30 maintenance manual about how to redo that tank. It doesn't sound too bad. And there you go. And I think that'll probably be all I can do until winter's over in the boat. Just demo. So if you're interested in subscribing and you haven't already, should be a blue circle up here. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.